Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to break down 5 simple but really powerful steps that every single school in India can take to protect student mental health. Let's dive right in.
And look, the need for this it's absolutely urgent. The numbers are just stark. Right now, 1 out of every 7 students in India is facing a mental health challenge. We're talking about millions and millions of children.
You know, this isn't just about a few kids struggling here and there. We're talking about a silent crisis that's unfolding inside our school systems, often totally hidden behind that constant push for academic achievement.
Students today are facing what's really a perfect storm of modern pressures. You've got intense exams, digital overload and screen addiction, bullying, and a serious lack of trained support. All of these are taking a huge toll. And what this really tells us is that academic excellence alone, it's just not the whole picture. Okay, but here is the good news. We can absolutely do something about this. So let's shift gears from the problem to the solution with 5 concrete, practical steps that can genuinely change everything.
And what's so crucial to understand is that this isn't about some huge, expensive overhaul that's impossible to implement. Nope. We're talking about affordable, manageable changes that pretty much any school can start putting into practice, like right now.
So here's our 5-step roadmap. It's pretty straightforward. We start by building a new curriculum, then we empower teachers and students, bring parents into the fold, and finally, build a real professional support system. Let's break each one down.
All right, let's dive into number 1. The whole idea here is to start treating well-being like a core subject, just as fundamental as math or science. It's about building essential life skills, not just cramming for exams. And you know what? It's totally manageable. We're not talking about rewriting the entire school day. Just one 30-minute session a week focused on things like mindfulness, building resilience, and learning to express emotions in a healthy way, that can completely transform a school's culture. Okay, on to step 2. This is where we start to see how everything connects. Your teachers are on the front lines every single day, so empowering them is one of the most effective things a school can possibly do.
Exactly. Think about it. Teachers are really the first responders for student well-being. They're in the perfect spot to notice those little shifts in behavior. And honestly, often a simple 2-hour training session is all it takes to give them the tools they need.
So what exactly are they looking for? Well, here are some of the biggest red flags. A student who suddenly pulls back from activities they used to love. Or maybe they act out with aggression that's totally out of character. Or their grades just suddenly plummet. Spotting these things early is absolutely the key to getting them help.
All right, step 3. This one is huge because it taps into the most powerful resource in any school, the students themselves. The power of that peer-to-peer connection is just immense. I mean, this quote really says it all, doesn't it? There are some things a kid will only ever tell a friend, things they'd never feel comfortable sharing with a teacher or even a parent. Tapping into that trust is a total game changer.
So, how do you actually make this happen? Well, it's all about being intentional. You can create things like structured buddy check-ins, set up peer mentoring programs, and design safe spaces where kids feel comfortable sharing. The goal is super simple. Make sure no child ever feels like they are completely and utterly alone.
Okay, let's talk about step 4. Because let's be real, a child's world doesn't just stop at the school gate. To create a support system that actually works, parents and families have to be part of the team. It's non-negotiable.
And when you do this, you get this amazing synergy. The school can host workshops on things like digital balance, and then parents can reinforce those same ideas at home. The school keeps the lines of communication wide open, and so parents feel empowered to share what they're seeing. It creates this seamless support network that surrounds the child.
And that brings us to our final step, number 5. Think of this as the critical infrastructure that holds everything else up. Professional support and having clear procedures in place, they aren't nice-to-haves. They are absolutely non-negotiable.
So here's the bottom line. Every school needs to guarantee access to a counselor. But just as important, they need a clear well-being protocol. Think of it like a fire drill. When a student is in real distress, they shouldn't have to guess or wonder where to go for help. The path to getting help needs to be crystal clear and super fast. So when a school actually puts these 5 steps into practice, wow. The results aren't just little tweaks here and there. The impact is truly transformative for absolutely everyone involved.
It creates this incredible ripple effect. It all starts with happier kids, which naturally leads to better learning and academic success. That, in turn, creates more confident parents who have a much stronger trust in the school.
And the end result? A thriving school with higher admissions and an enhanced reputation. Seriously, it's a win for the kids, a win for the parents, and a win for the school. A total win-win-win.
Okay, so now that we've laid out this clear path forward, the question really becomes, what's next? What's your school's next move?
And yeah, that's a direct question, and it's supposed to be, because real change doesn't just happen on its own. It starts when somebody, somewhere, decides to take that very first step.
So here's what you can do right now. This is your call to action. Share this explainer with your school's leadership. Push for starting with just one small step, just one, this month. Together, we can help make every single school in India a genuinely safe space for our children to learn and to grow.
Let's leave it with the single most important idea to take away from all this. Of course, academic excellence matters. That's the building we're all trying to construct. But none of it, absolutely none of it, can stand tall without the solid foundation of mental health. Thanks so much for joining me.